Here at the door and stuff like that. Like, yeah, so then next thing you know, somebody rang the doorbell. He had the presidential suite, so he was that. I opened the door, and the dude said, yo, I'm here for my cousin. Puff and Ja Rule runs out the room. Puff got his towel, Ja grabbed his towel, and they bucked the thing. And so then Ja was like, yo, what's going on? Yo, Jay, that's my cousin. You know me well. You know, and Puff was like, yo, Jay, what happened? I said, he tried to get in the room. I told him he couldn't get in the room. He was like, Puff looked at Ja. He said, yo, Ja said, you ain't want to go in that room. There's a lot of figures going. So I was like, oh, there was a lot of things going on. So that was basically that story, man. When John said, you don't want to come up in there, a lot of stuff is going on. You got to use your mind. What they was doing with those clubs.
Spotlight is on Genedeal, and he's back with revelations that might redefine how we see one of hip-hop's most famous moguls. So Gene had a front-row seat to the life of Diddy, witnessing the highs and lows of fame while guarding some of the industry's biggest secrets. But now he's dropped a bombshell. According to Genedeal, there's a secret list detailing Diddy's alleged personal encounters that he's kept hidden from the people he claims to have seen evidence of. These secret parties to the links did he went to keep them out of the lime. Mikey paints a vivid picture of rooms guarded by security, late-night meetings, and an inner circle committed to keeping certain stories under wraps. According to him, the secret list is a snapshot of a lifestyle behind fame.
I was in one of those exotic bookstores. I saw this dude pick up plugs. And that's the first time I ever seen some shit like that. And when I said, yo, man, what you getting this for? He said, you know, can I do my shopping by myself? And I said, yeah. And when I looked up there, it said plugs.
Genedeal was the only one allowed inside during Diddy's most private and exclusive moments. This access meant he was aware of scenes the world never saw, the scenes that took place behind closed doors in private rooms away from the cameras and flashing lights. According to him, these events were more than just parties. They were controlled environments where only those who could be trusted to keep secrets were allowed in. In his role, Gene describes witnessing parties that went beyond what fans and the viewers might imagine. These weren't your average celebrations. Gene talks about scenes where indulgence knew no limits, from luxurious spreads of food and drink to tightly controlled spaces where every move seemed to have a purpose. He claims Diddy's parties had an energy all their own, and as the one standing guard, he could see who went and who came out, and sometimes what went on inside the closed doors. It's in these private spaces that Gene says he witnessed a different side of Diddy, a side reserved only for those in the know. But what happens when the cameras are off and the real party begins? Genedeal's account, who is even further sharing that these parties often transformed into what he calls, according to him, Diddy would host private meetings where intimate interactions and risk preferences took center stage. These were the parts of Diddy's life. Genedeal says he was brought in to protect moments that he claims would never make headlines or be seen on social media. Gene also paints a picture of the atmosphere in these exclusive spaces, describing a controlled environment where only select guests were allowed to participate or even watch. He says that he was often the only one permitted to witness these moments up close, a position he held because of his loyalty. But it's clear from his stories that these were no ordinary events, and people in attendance included some of Hollywood's most influential figures. According to him, what happened at these events was closely guarded, with a clear expectation that everyone involved would keep their silence. A.O. Gene says he upheld during his years with Diddy, but the secrets go even deeper, with names and relationships that Hollywood would rather keep in the dark. Genedeal claims there is a secret list of Diddy's male partners, a list he suggests holds the names of those who have been part of Diddy's private life for years. Gene says he witnessed interactions and relationships with prominent figures from the industry, all of whom were allegedly part of these parties. His revelation of the secret list introduces a side of Diddy that's never been seen in public, casting light on connections he says the star worked tirelessly to keep hidden. He suggests that Diddy's inner circle was more than just a group of friends or business partners. It was a network of people with shared experiences in these private gatherings. According to him, the secret list contains names that could shock fans of Hollywood's elite. These stories aren't just gossip, but are part of the hidden world he was brought in to protect, an aspect of Hollywood life he feels the world deserves to know about.
Everybody
kind of knew back in the day that Meek Mills and Puff was a little too friendly. Anytime two rappers or two people in the industry come dressed up alike on more than one occasion, listen here, man. My dudes in Philly, I got some real strong dudes in Philly. They don't play that shit. And they probably embarrassed for the fact to see that Meek Mills, one of the street guys that came out of there, got caught up in this Hollywood.
According to genedeal, Diddy's parties took place at hidden venues that catered exclusively to Hollywood's A-list cups. These weren't the kind of parties you'd catch in tabloids or on social media. He describes them as exclusive SIRs where select guests, many of them big names from the industry, would come together in spaces protected from the outside world. He also claims these parties were less about socializing and more about indulging in experiences most people could never imagine. Gene paints Diddy as not only a participant, but as the driving force behind these events. According to him, Diddy's influence stretched across Hollywood with the power to gather the biggest names into these secret spaces. He suggests that Diddy wasn't just another guest, he was often the organizer, creating a space where he held the reins. This wasn't a typical host role, it was one where he allegedly had control over the guest list, the activities, and even the rules everyone had to follow. He recalls how Diddy curated each detail, making sure only those who were willing to keep quiet were invited. But the alleged parties didn't just happen at these private venues. He claims that Diddy and his circle had secret spots across the city, places that cater to those in the know, and that provided utmost discretion. He mentions that Turkish baths were among the popular locations where guests could gather away from the public eye. He describes these baths as more than just relaxation spots. They were spaces where privacy was respected, where guests could come and go without attracting attention. genedeal also shares how these Turkish baths in similar spots served a purpose beyond social gatherings. He says that these spaces were chosen for their discretion, allowing Diddy and his close circle to meet without concern about unwanted eyes or overheard conversations. According to him, these encounters at the baths weren't just friendly gatherings, they were moments where business secrets and even alleged relationships were nurtured, hidden away from the world. But one of the most shocking allegations is the role of Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie.
She said it's a obsession. If she says a obsession, brother, she ain't the only one. The prostitute ain't the only one. Old boy is also.
genedeal's claims extend into some unsettling details involving Diddy's former long-term partner. In his version, Cassie was more than just a girlfriend. He describes her as someone caught up in a life that few could fully understand. Gene suggests that she became part of these private scenes, allegedly pressured into a lifestyle dictated by Diddy's influence. He alludes to Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy, which outlines a number of disturbing accusations and points to an alleged control over her personal life. genedeal's claims align with some of the darker details. Cassie's lawsuit mentions, according to him, her involvement wasn't something she sought out, but was a result of Diddy's strong influence, portraying her as someone who went through a lot behind the scenes. He describes Cassie's experience as a journey through some of the same events and circles he himself observed, revealing that she was brought into Diddy's world without much say in the matter. Now, genedeal's revelations don't just involve Hollywood veterans and industry insiders. He also claims that Diddy brought young rising stars into his inner circle. One of the most talked about young stars mentioned by Deal is Justin Bieber. He describes how Burr spent a mysterious 48 hours with Diddy, a time of frame that fans have often questioned.
Seen on the video that Puff had ran into Justin Bieber. They met up, and he started tapping him as if he was searching him and see if he had some kind of device on. Did you see that?
Yep. The bad boy. It's your icon alert. It's called He's Bad Boy Now. It's called Don't Ever Play Yourself.
genedeal suggests that this period wasn't just about business or mentorship, but but an introduction to a world he wasn't ready for. According to him, this mentorship went beyond the typical industry advice, placing Justin Bieber in situations that had a huge impact. Genedeal also accused Usher as a kind of matchmaker in this network. He claims that Usher, who himself had connections with Diddy from a young age, may have played a role in bringing Bieber into Diddy's circle. He suggests that this wasn't just about fostering young talent, but introducing Bieber to aspects of Diddy's illegal lifestyle that weren't visible to the viewers. Justin Bieber's own comments about his relationship with Diddy over the years have fueled fan speculation, and Genedeal's statements have only added to that conversation. For instance, some fans wonder if Bieber's later struggles and challenges with fame were in any way related to his early association with Diddy.
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, telling me they love me, and, just turn their back on me in a second.
For many viewers, Genedeal's story suggests that young artists may have been pressured or influenced by powerful figures in Hollywood, leaving them down a path filled with secrets and expectations. This alleged dynamic, where older mentors introduce young stars to a particular lifestyle, points to a side of the industry that rarely gets discussed. Genedeal's revelations suggests that this wasn't unique to Justin Bieber, and that young talents were sometimes treated more like accessories to Hollywood's elite, either than being protected or guided. But with so many powerful people involved, why has Hollywood stayed so silent? According to Genedeal, Hollywood has its own protective network, one where powerful agents, publicists, and PR teams work together to control what reaches the public eye. He suggests that this protection often extends to people like Diddy, who allegedly have strong connections and favors with those in the media. He claims that industry insiders know more than they share, and that their silence is often bought or maintained to avoid any huge effect on other powerful figures. Meanwhile, fans' opinions on Deal's allegations have also reflected this frustration with Hollywood's quiet complicity. One fan wrote, "Gan has been telling us about Diddy for many years, but people thought he was just a hater and was a liar. I'm so glad the truth is coming to light." Another comment pointed out, "Now we see why marriages in Hollywood don't last." These reactions echo a common belief that publicists and managers manage media stories to keep secrets locked away. There's also the theory that powerful alliances in Hollywood allow people to stay untouchable. Genedeal hints that this network is massive, involving not just the entertainment industry, but connections with business moguls and even political ties. According to him, these connections create a safety net that protects different people. Hollywood's code of silence, as some fans call it, is something Deal says is ingrained in the industry. So what does all this mean? Will Deal's story make a difference in the way Hollywood operates, or will it end up as just another rumor in a sea of celebrity tea? Drop a comment below with your thoughts. If you want more insider stories, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell.